It's us again. Headband boy and necklace guy.
This is Mitch, and my name's Eli, and welcome back to another episode of Learn With Us, where we take content that is worth your time.
And we learn from it with you.
Today, we are back with somebody, a teacher who we haven't visited in a long time.
And it's time.
The man, the myth, the mystic,
Sadhguru.
Today, he's talking about
Oh,
anger.
I was supposed to say that.
Yeah. That was when I pass it off to
Yeah,
you.
no, that's cool.
All right. So what is he talking about today?
He's talking about how to not be angry or bothered by other people, which I think is important at all times, but especially when you're with the same people all the time during COVID.
Like in a quarantine.
So
Let's get right into this.
let's get
I'm
into
excited.
this. I'm really just quite excited. All right, let's see. Hey, let's see what he has to say.
See, before we come to women, first thing is visionary. What a vision means is, see, everybody has desires. Desire is an incremental way of enhancing our life. Today you desire, I must have a home, tomorrow you desire, I must have this money, tomorrow you desire something else. These are incremental ways of arranging and rearranging our lives, which are needed to do a few things. When you say, I'm a visionary, what you're saying is, I have a larger desire, which is not about just incremental improvement of my life. Desire is about me always. Vision is an all-inclusive process.
Very important thing to know about Sadhguru and the way he does things is he's never gonna move forward until he's laid the groundwork.
Yes, that's exactly
So,
what he's doing right now.
Yeah, so it's like, visionary woman, he's like, before we get to woman,
Yeah.
we need to talk about what it means to be a visionary and giving this all-inclusive idea of what a visionary is as like this bigger thing that you are and you're working towards. And I feel like in general that is probably like when he starts a longer kind of monologue like this, he'll often have like that bigger overarching theme that then is going to like come throughout all of it. So when we think about getting angry or bothered by people, I'm sure he's going to be moving into how you perceive that bigger vision when you're working with individuals and things like that, and we can think about what that would mean in your daily life.
So, about willingness, because you said you're a volunteer organization, to be a volunteer. A volunteer means somebody who is doing something willingly, right? There's no other compulsion. There are no financial compulsions, there are no social compulsions, there is no something else. You want to do something willingly. So when you're a willing participant, right now, you're a volunteer. I'm asking all of you, right now, are you compelled to be here or are you here voluntarily? Oh, thank you. Because I've spoken to conscripted people also. I've spoken in the prisons, I've spoken in many places. So you're here willingly. You're doing something willingly is the fundamental of your joy, isn't it so? Hello? However simple or stupid or idiotic activity it is, I'm doing something willingly, makes a world of difference, isn't it so?
Think about that concept when it comes to your job, and it's like are you doing your job because you are willing to do your job or because you are being told to do your job?
Going to school, picking your major. We were just talking about this yesterday, like how many people are influenced negatively to pick a major or a career path that they don't really want, but other people want for them.
Yeah.
How detrimental that is to someone's life.
And it's all based on these arbitraries out there of you'll have more money when you're older, or and it's like all these 30-year plans.
Yeah, you have no idea how like long you're gonna live or what you're gonna do. You can never plan. This is not the way. Like you're not supposed to be planning.
And the fact that so much of this modern culture, we're like, oh, I wish I had more time to volunteer and like to do that type of thing. And it's like, why are we living a lifestyle where we don't have the time to do something that's gonna fill our hearts more? You know,
absolutely.
And why are we creating systems that lead to empty feelings of just like grinding, like rise and grind? It's like, no, rise and live. You know, like what the hell are we grinding for?
I do not like this whole idea of grinding culture and just like working really hard at something because it's like you have to. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that's always frustrated me. It's like, are we just trying to like be productive, or are we trying to be happy? Come on, folks.
And aren't you more productive when you're happy?
100%. That's a great point.
There's studies that prove that too.
Absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
We have already taken on attitudes, what we like and what we don't like. I like this person, I don't like this person. Now with this person I will do things willingly, with this person I'll do things unwillingly. This may be two people, two aspects of life, two communities, two nations, two many things. This I will do willingly, this I do unwillingly. This means I've decided in my mind this is good, this is bad. When I hear even on national news channels, good guys and bad guys, it just… once you have this kind of thing, you are going to be disastrous to the planet. It's just a question of time.
That's… okay, this is huge. I think I'm getting this properly. He's saying it's not the bad guys, you know, because we're always perceiving all the problems in the world are created by these bad guys.
The corporations,
the
billionaires,
corporations,
whatever.
people from the Middle East, things like that, like common
All
American
those different
stereotype. And it's not the bad guys themselves, it's our perception of good and bad that creates the problems. It's our perception that things have this black and white, I'm in the good, you're in the bad, you're the other, this is the other thing, that creates all of these separations, these dysfunctionalities and the problems in our world. I think that's what he's saying here.
Yeah, like the idea that an animal in the forest or a plant that gets eaten, that we look into nature and we say like survival of the fittest, like these guys are winning, those guys are losing. When you look at these population cycles and see like all of a sudden this population will grow, but then a bunch of them will die off because of disease or because they're starving, because they don't have the rest of that cycle to lean on. And it's like it's the same way that we think about it's that same separation where you can't have separation in this big cycle.
Absolutely.
The separation is just this, you know,
construct.
This construct. And if we're trying to move forward, trying to do anything bigger, we need to understand the fullness of this whole cycle. And then when it comes to something like the other, like the bad guy in the situation, if you're viewing them as the bad guy, as he's saying, you're already thinking, I'm unwilling to work with them. When it's like, what if we looked at a Donald Trump or something like that, and rather than being like, immediately say, worst president ever, stupid guy, whatever. I understand, like, I've seen the things he's doing too. But where are we going by just spreading more hate? It's like we're not going anywhere. In fact, we're going backwards because now we're just creating bigger divides that we somehow need to mend at some point.
Huge mindset shift is, are we going to live our lives pro things, or are we going to live our lives anti things? If we're living our lives anti things, then we're not standing up for anything. If we're living our lives pro things, we're moving forward. But if it's anti, you're knocking down, and you're giving more power to that anti thing because you're just talking about it more. You're giving more attention. Giving more attention and energy. But if you're pro something, you're just like, you know what? That doesn't even matter. We are moving forward. We are just moving forward. And I accept what's going on.
Some good stuff.
The moment you decide, this is a good person, this is a bad person, this has gone deep into American society. No, there are no good people and bad people. Everybody is oscillating between the two. If you create a very pleasant, wonderful atmosphere, everybody behaves wonderfully. If you create an unpleasant atmosphere, a whole lot of people act nasty. Yes or no? There are joyful people and miserable people, but there are no good people and bad people.
That's big.
Okay, this is a huge thing that I've come to recently, that I see a lot of people, myself included for a lot of my life, where I feel like I would look to others and be like, why aren't you like me? Basically, that's what it gets down to. Why aren't you like me? Why don't you have this understanding about life like I have? I think a lot of people do this. And you need to recognize, and I recognized at some point, that if I am able to like feel like I'm living a happy life and I'm like less bothered or angry by people, it's not something that's innate in my own character. It's like almost by luck that I was raised a certain way. I grew up in a very stable, sound environment. I was taught to love, things like that. If I grew up in a very unstable environment, I'd be a completely different person. I might be the person that I point to now and say, why aren't you like me? Why aren't you good? Why aren't you doing these good things? It's like everyone's just a product of their environment, you know? So it's like placing blame is just so short-sighted. There's no way around it. It's just such a short-sighted thing to do, because you're just the lucky one who got this better life and better understanding of.
Yeah, and that's only, like, who's to say it's the better understanding?
Yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah.
there's always stuff you can learn from that person you're pointing at.
100%.
And it's like, I don't know, I just love the way that he said everyone's oscillating between good and bad. And when you're in a pleasant environment, if you make the environment pleasant, like, it reminds you of the whole idea. We just dropped a video on COVID. And the environment and the way we're growing food right now and how that's affecting our bodies and making unpleasant environments inside of ourselves, because we're making these unpleasant environments outside of ourselves, which is leading to this crazy rise in chronic disease, the crazy death tolls in COVID. It's like all these different things are just caused by the way that we're trying to shape environments through domination, again, through this separation of this is what is the right thing, like, you know. And it's just like, geez, we just gotta take those breaths and be like, I don't know right now. I need to be present with what's here and figure out where I fit into this whole cycle.
Yes.
And not pretend like we have the answers.
The moment we think we are good, we are entitled to destroy the bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been destroying a lot of people for a long time. Time to stop that. Because human beings are in different levels of experience and understanding. Variety of people. Anybody who is not like you is obviously bad, isn't it? Isn't it so? Those who are not like me must be bad people. Because the basis of goodness and what you think is goodness is decided by you. No, you have no business to do that. Willing means this, I'm just willing. I'm 100% yes to life. I am not yes to this one, no to this one, no. I am just yes and yes to life. If you are 100% yes to life, you are a volunteer.
Oh, that's
You have become a willing life. You have become so willing that you have no will of your own. People ask me, Sadhguru, how do you operate with all these people? All kinds of horrible questions they're asking, they're doing this, they're doing that. I said, my life is not about them, it's about me. It's about how I am. It's about me. It doesn't matter how they are, that's their choice. But how I am is my choice, this is my way. No matter what they do, I'm like this. because I have not given that freedom to anybody, that somebody can freak me, somebody can make me angry, somebody can make me happy, somebody can make me unhappy. These privileges I kept to myself. It's time you do that too. Because if somebody else can decide what can happen within you right now, isn't this the ultimate slavery? Huh? Isn't this?
Oh, dude. This just also cycles back to what he was talking about at the beginning of, if you're doing something willingly or not. If you're gonna be if you're voluntarily living your life, then you are going to be happy, and everyone's like, yes, we're volunteers, we're coming here, we're working for volunteer organizations. But then he's saying also, are you voluntarily, is everything happening inside of you happening voluntarily or not? He's saying, like, when you give someone else the power to make you happy, angry, sad, anything in between, you lose that voluntary nature of your life and you become a slave to other people.
And again, that goes back to what he was saying about willingness being our joy. When you're doing something willfully, you are joyous.
Yes.
So if you have that willfulness inside of you, you become more joyous. You're living joyously.
Because you're able to produce that because you have that power. You know, you don't give anyone else the power to ruin your life and ruin your day and make you feel terrible all the time. You know, you're the only person who has power over that. I feel like
and what if we focused on those types of practices to be like what if that was what was taught in elementary school? You know, like how do you become a willing human being?
Yeah.
And let's break out of all of these predetermined paths for human life and understand that it's not the path you're walking, it's the way you're walking the path. It's like freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Yo, but how about also when he goes, you become so willing that you no longer have will?
That was interesting.
I thought that was a crazy line because that's like, you've become so willing that you no longer have will. I think that goes to that idea of when he was saying there's like the person who you're willing to talk to and unwilling to talk to. When you become so willing towards life, you're saying life is what I focus on. No longer is this good or bad the thing that you're going to be looking at. It's going to be life that you're looking at. And you've become so willing towards that no matter what the life is that you're looking at, you're going to treat it with that. You know, you're so willing towards it that you don't even need to will yes or no. That's gone now. It's just yes.
Oh.
It's like that attitude.
Nice, dude. Yeah. That's good.
Wow.
That's real good.
Today.
But if you think what you're doing is very significant, you must learn to work with all these horrible people. This is how the world is. If you think what you're doing is very significant, you learn to work with all kinds of people. You will see horrible people will do wonderful things. Yes?
Yes, yes.
But if you want to work with ideal people, you won't find any. I haven't found one yet. All kinds of mixed bags.
Yes.
But if you are willing that you are not yes and no, yes to one, no to another, you're simply one big yes, you will find a way.
Yo, that goes back to the beginning where he talks about what it means to be a visionary. 'Cause he was like, look, if you're here and you think what you're doing is important enough.
Yes.
If you think what you're doing is important enough, you're gonna understand that you need to work with person X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You need to work with the people you're annoyed with or you don't initially think the same as.
Yeah, you know, if I want to make this channel, gotta work with this guy all the time.
Exactly. No, but even like if one of us is in a bad mood one day.
Yeah.
And you need to work with someone who's like clearly not giving what you know they can.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like a relationship, your significant other. You're looking at them and you're like, why are they like this today?
But you just know that it's a really important thing that you're doing, and so you keep doing it.
Yeah, because you know you have that vision of what the relationship can be, or what your work can be, what it is, and what it's moving towards.
Oh yeah.
And if you're anchored in that, then these little things, and it's like what are the practices you can do daily to anchor in that, you know? And that's where I found one of the biggest things recently. Like in the mornings, I'll do a meditation where I really like visualize what I want to create, like the like big idea with a new dream, or with my personal relationships, whatever it is. And that's the first thing I do in the morning, is like become centered and focus on that.
Yes.
Because then like today we've been thinking about like our channel and where it's going, and if we're doing the right stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to like get just bogged down. And then it's like, if you feel that boggedness, but then you're like, wait, this is the thing.
If you're grounded in that thing, yeah.
Then you can come out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But if you don't have that vision, wow.
You're just bogged down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's
so
no...
important. Damn. That's like a revelation I just had.
Yeah.
That just all connected in my head there.
That was what I needed to hear right now.
Whew.
Like
That's oh shoot. I think it's what we both needed to hear.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what you needed to hear right now.
Yeah.
If you heard other stuff that we didn't catch, let us know in the comments below.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is a YouTube channel where we are exploring what it means to live a better life.
Yeah.
And we're learning from people like Sadhguru and a lot of other different teachers. And we're teaching some of the stuff we learn, and making some art pieces that brings it all together in fun ways.
We're having a lot of fun here.
So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends and family, and also your enemies, because now we know you got to be willing. That's how we're gonna get you guys to send our videos to other people
Everywhere.
Alrighty, folks. Well, this was fun.
Yeah. Heck yeah. As always, much
Much
love.
love.